Hello everyone, I think this is going to be a bit of a rambling video, so please excuse me. Just adjust the camera somewhat. Yeah, I had a bit of a health revelation recently. It was kind of inspired by something kind of odd. It doesn't all sort of fit together. It's not like, I mean, I was sick. I was sick for the last 2 days. I had a E. coli infection in my gut, probably caused by not washing salad vegetables, which were, in all probability, covered in cow shit. Yes, wash your salad veggies. So I was really quite sick. I was basically asleep for most of the 2 days that I was sick. But in the time that I wasn't asleep, I couldn't really stomach eating anything because I felt like vomiting. Yeah, and the only thing I wanted to eat really was apples and fruit juice and water. I had a few other things. I had some carrot sticks and hummus and some crackers. And a little bit of leftover sushi. But I didn't eat those things because I wanted to eat them because my body was saying it wanted to eat them. I ate them just because I was fucking hungry. Excuse my language, but, you know, I needed to eat something. But anyway, what was amazing was that on the second day, I went to the toilet and then I looked in the mirror. And I don't usually look in the mirror when I'm feeling unwell, because usually what's staring back at me looks pretty disgusting. But I couldn't believe it. It was like my skin was like so smooth and so young looking and like just like really rejuvenated. And I realized that, maybe it was the fruit. I'm bad when it comes to fruit. Well, I used to be anyway. I'm not going to be anymore. Basically, if it came in a can or if it was dried, I'd eat it. I'd eat peaches. That was the fresh fruit that I would eat. But I wasn't too keen on fruit. I wouldn't stock up on the fruit. I'd have fruit in smoothies as well. So I'd have bananas in smoothies. But I wasn't really eating fruit. I didn't really see the point in it. I just thought it was, lots of sugar and not much else. The other thing was, so my body was just telling me like really strongly to eat fruit, eat fruit, eat fruit. All I want is fruit. So I demolished heaps of apples. They're not very filling, but it was good. It was tasty. And the other thing was that my body was saying really strongly that it didn't want anything processed. And it certainly didn't want any caffeine. And if you remember my drugs are bad MK video from a few weeks ago, or I don't know, a month ago or something, you'll know that I've been a really hardcore caffeine addict. But I didn't have any caffeine while I was sick. I just couldn't imagine having a coffee. I couldn't imagine consuming soy milk. Yeah. And today, I didn't want to have a coffee at all, but I had to have one. I had one. Just because I had to write this, statement addressing my skills in reference to, like, a job that I'm going for on Monday, which I really want. So I had to make my brain function. It was a really complex document. It's like 6 pages long. And I had to remember all these different incidents from my previous employment and all the rest of it. So I basically, because I've been ill and I was still a bit foggy, I had to have the caffeine. I couldn't have gotten through. But I'm not going to have it tomorrow. I'm not going to have any caffeine tomorrow. I don't know, while my body is saying it doesn't want it anymore, I'm going to jump on that bandwagon and I'm going to quit it. Because it's, I don't know if it's the skin that, like, the reaction with my skin that I saw was the more fruit, or it was the lack of caffeine. It would make sense if it was lack of caffeine, because caffeine's very dehydrating. But skin is a very, there's something wrong with your skin. It's usually related to something going on inside you. The skin is the biggest organ you have in your body, and it's also one of the organs that your body uses to release toxins. So, if you look at someone's skin and it's amazing, it usually means they're in pretty good health. So, yeah. So I'm looking at getting my diet into order and definitely cutting out the caffeine. And I'm hoping that from there I'll get sick and tired of smoking, and I'll be able to jump on the non-smoking bandwagon too. But no, it's just really strange that it would be that would provoke me to do it. Because it wasn't related to any. It wasn't like a nutritional illness. It was a reaction to some nasty bacteria getting into me, which is just caused basically by not washing my vegetables. Or the other thing is, we have meat-eating dogs in the house, and you know how dogs love to give little kisses. It could be that it came from them, so I don't know. But obviously hygiene needs to be improved so I don't get E. coli in my stomach. But anyway, no matter why it happened, it's good. And it's always good to listen to your body, because if you can interpret its signals correctly, it'll usually tell you what the right thing to do is. And I'm not talking about it telling you to indulge in addictions either. That's a completely different thing. Yeah, so, in the couple of minutes that I've got left, I'll just tell you about this job that I'm going for. So, I mean, obviously I've been looking for a job for ages now. And I've been getting to the point where any old job would be good, So I went for an interview for one of those any old jobs on Monday with a really good not-for-profit organisation. And it was just for an administrative role. But as I was talking to them, two of the ladies that were talking to me turned around to each other and said, "Oh, she would be so good for this other role." And I was like, what? And it turns out that they were looking for someone to do personal support program, which isn't something that I've directly done, but I'm very familiar with it. And essentially it's when people in Australia know what Centrelink is, it's essentially like Department of Social Services welfare. And what happens is that when someone gets referred to welfare, social services, they are then referred out from there to other organisations that can help them get back into work. And the personal support program is for people who aren't ready to start working yet. So, people who are homeless, people with mental illnesses, people with drug addictions, people who just really need to look at other things first before they start getting pushed into getting into work. So basically it's about, sort of providing counselling, advocating on their behalf so that they can keep a roof over their head, if they get behind in rent payments, that kind of stuff. Referring them to drug and alcohol counselling, keeping tabs on them, helping them make goals, helping them, coaching them to move forward in life, which is exactly what I want to be doing. So hopefully, And the only thing going against me with this job is that I don't have a driver's license at the moment. I need to get a job so I can afford to get my driver's license and get a car. And until then, I'm a bit stuffed. But hopefully they can look past that and see all my other skills, and I'll be selected for the job.